what's up, everybody? Cinephile Mike here, and today I am joined by filmmaker John Langridge and producer, actor, and stunt performer Renato Pires to discuss the new British indie thriller, Charlie Shaw's Revenge. Fresh off its presence at the Cannes Film Festival, where the film secured an international distribution deal with Indie Rights, Charlie Shaw's Revenge continues the work of their production company, Drop Dead Films, a company focused on genre storytelling, practical filmmaking, and psychologically driven thrillers. And for those of you that have been with me for a while, know that's everything up my alley. John, Renato, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today.
You're welcome, Mike. Great to be here.
So diving in, Charlie Shaw's Revenge already has momentum coming out of Cannes with the Indie Rights deal. What has it been like seeing this project to begin connecting with international audiences and distributors?
Oh, it's been absolutely great. Absolutely great, Mike. I mean, as you know how films are put together. It's a lot of hard work, and it's been a few years, 2 or 3 years to put together, and then obviously it's your baby, you love it, and you put it out into the world, and you hope it's going to go down really well. And we've been absolutely just made up really at the response we've had from festivals. We've won awards in every festival we've been in. We're getting solid word of mouth. So yeah, it's as I say, you try and make the best film you can, and then when it's up to the audience really. And we've been really we've been really made up as to the response that we've got to it. So yeah, it's been great.
So you founded Drop Dead Films with a strong focus on genre storytelling.
Yeah.
What is it, do you think, that draws both of you specifically toward thrillers and darker material?
I don't like that, I guess. I don't know. I've always been drawn to that. I don't know if it was I'm of the age when like early 80s, where they had like indie video stores. This is before blockbusters. Every town had one little, and maybe it's at the back of a different shop. You had like this, and they wouldn't let you. They'd let you have anything. So I just literally I went through all the John Carpenters, Friday the 13th, Wes Craven, Last House on the Left, if you know that one. All of those when I was about 13, and I think that's kind of about Southern Comfort as well. I mean, Walter Hill, Southern Comfort, just all those kinds of films, and that's really just I mean, obviously Star Wars when it came out, and all loved that science fiction, but I always loved the darker stuff, like Alien, The Thing. I mean, I still watched The Thing when I was 13. Yeah, just and all the Fog, Christine, just all those sorts of films. I think that's me. That's me growing up. I've always been attracted to that kind of thing. I just love that. They're fun to make. Horrors are fun to make. They really are. They really are fun. As we found out, that's the best. Everyone has. The end result might be terrifying or gruesome, but all that is just so much fun to just get. It's like a magic trick, because we use practical effects. So, yeah, that was that for me.
I think it's like John was saying, it's so fun to make it, and behind the scenes, with all the prep, with the gore and the blood, it's something that I really really enjoying, and it's also as a producer, horrors are profitable, or at least they are easy genre compared to maybe a drama. So, and as a producer, I have to look at the numbers, so it's a win-win.
I
Yeah,
love it. One from the love and one from the business angle. It's a perfect partnership.
yeah, that's us. Show and business. That's how we introduce ourselves. I'm the show and he's the business.
And John, I have to say, I agree. I remember going to my little town video store when I was a kid, and the same thing. Scream was my gateway, and it gave me like the perfect watch list that took me into this genre. I never
Yeah,
looked back.
yeah.
So for Charlie Shaw's Revenge, the adventure park and the circus art setting, it's an interesting backdrop for a thriller. What made those locations feel right to tell this story?
I mean, I should say something about how we sort of rewrote it. We sort of knew each other. We'd both done films before. I'd done a few films, Renato's done a few films. Actually, our children are in the same class at school. My son, his daughter. So that's how we started talking. We said, we should do something. Let's start talking. How ideas. We went to the local coffee shop and just sort of like, look, this is what we've got. This is what we had, and we knew there's an adventure park, not Catch, is the local adventure park to us. So we started very early saying, look, we need a broad canvas. My last film was all shot in a wood. 13 Graves was all filmed in a wood. And I thought, we need a big canvas for this, because indie films, they suffer from having quite a small canvas. The house or the small thing. So, and Renato runs the East Sussex School of Circus Arts. So we thought, we've got the clown, we've got the circus, we've got the theme park. We could kind of sort of have a sort of circus themed theme park, and as Renato can train, as he teaches, he's at the East Sussex School of Circus Arts, he can teach the actors to do the stunts. So we can lean into like fire breathing, circus skills, and that sort of thing. And that's going to be something we've not seen before. And it's going to add a sort of authenticity to it. And who doesn't love a killer clown? So yeah, it was kind of leaning really, really. I think that's the thing with indie films, is really leaning into your strengths, what you have, and making the most of what you can get. So yeah, that was kind of it for us. And we wrote the ideas, and then I went and wrote the script.
So, with your backgrounds, and Renato, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your background with the circus work and the stunt work. How did bringing that element to the film help influence the way that you and John collaborated on set together?
Yep, that's a very, very good question. So we have two ways of work together, we and John. So John will check in terms of the actors, of the acting, the performance, how they fit for the role that I'm looking, and I would do the physical side of the audition, the cartwheels, the handstands, the fallings, understanding, can I coach, can I teach this person the stunts and the training, because it's not something that you can learn in the next day of stunts. Even we had months for prepping and working on the stunts and the circus skills, I still have to have the performers with some sort of understanding and knowledge of physicality and movement in order to teach them that skills. And was very important that, because it's a 65-acre theme park with huge number of people to operate. Yes, just the park to operate is 100 staff minimum, plus the circus schools, the big tops. It's a huge setup to work around. And I was really keen on the day one to make sure the circus performers, which not something I've not seen in the past, where the film runs around circus performers. Normally, it's a little snippet, you have a little of a fire breather, a bit of someone on juggling on a corner, but I wanted to reverse, and I wanted to make sure we had the circus people in the front, because the circus
Mm.
is a huge community. There is a huge data and audience for circus, which is important to understand. Is there an audience for the film you're going to make? So I knew there was an audience for circus people. So I wanted to make sure, guys, the circus is coming to town and it's about the circus, this movie. And then John, with this vision and the creation and the directing, would make that come to life. Um, so this is the part that I train the guys how to fire breathe, how to fall, how to do the aerials, the stunts. Bear in mind, some of these actors never done stunts. We have no stunt doubles, so every actor does his own stunt. With their permission, of course. They did not do this forcefully. Just a disclaimer.
Yeah,
They all happy, and I asked.
yeah,
They love it.
You're
They
covered.
love it.
yeah,
If I'm going to do my own stunt, and then I would do the stunt first and say, listen, I want to make sure you're safe and you happy, and I'll do it, and I'll show you, and I'll train you. And then if you feel comfortable to do it, then you do it. And if not, then I can step up and I'll do it. And everyone was so like, no, let's get in. And they suddenly, we living in a circus environment that is like a family together. And circus does this to people. They don't care where you're from, where is your background, your religion, your beliefs. When you are in this circus environment, we all become a big family. And it was important for me to get that. And we got that not just with the cast, but with the crew.
yeah,
And it was great, because we living performing on set and becoming a family, and we wanted to show that authenticity with the circus people. So for me, was important to showcase the theme park, the circus, and the skill that goes behind of a circus performer. So that was me and John always make sure, oh yes, this needs to work here, and then with the cameraman,
yeah.
and then the guy would just go and do his job, and Yeah, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but John would go with the actors, work there. Right now they're filming, and I will take the other ones they are not filming today to the train them on stunts. So it was always
Yeah,
ongoing.
there's always something going on.
Um, Stop. There was
Yeah, that would also Renato. Um, in terms of we should say in terms of Charlie Shaw himself. It was, as I said, it was Renato's right. It was really, really important that we have a real authenticity to that, to not only how circus performers, how they, interact with each other, and that was in, came out in the script. I worked with Renato on the script, and what would they say here? What would how would there be an interaction? But also, we should say with the design of Charlie Shaw himself, obviously we had a great makeup. Kate Griffiths, the makeup artist, she did all the gore and kills and all the makeup and everything. But also to make it an authentic clown, not to go, not to just go pick an arbitrary clown, but to say what is the story behind this clown, and what is this is an authentic clown makeup. It's not just like white and a bit of red. It's everything was sort of pinned down in reality, and authentic, exactly what Renato said, a real authenticity that really
there
kind of
was
spread out through the whole production, which was great.
That is such a good point that you bring to the conversation, John, because I wanted to, when people are watching the movie, if they are circus performers and when they do technical name, they're like, oh, they are mentioning the right terms, the technical terms,
Yeah,
the climbing, the French climb, the Russian climb, the straddle, and then the clown versus the poor clown and the rich clown. Oh, this is not just a white and black mime, it's actually the clown. So it was important the colors to match, and Anastasia, the costume design. The costume is unbelievable, amazing, because she built this from scratch. I remember we drawing on the paper and telling, no, this is the colors of the rich clown. I want the pork, the traditional clown. I don't want to go to Pierrot French style. I don't want to go to Pennywise. I don't want to go. I
yeah,
want to be this auto, it's the poor clown, and needs to be colors, the traditional colors, which is the yellow, the orange, the red, the blue, and I want these colors there. And
yeah,
so John took the time, and when time, like lots of time, to go and learn from the circus point, the story of the circus, the colors, the terminology. It's like me now from an actor point of view, go and learn with John, like the difference between the wide shot, the close up, like all these things. And it was a very interesting combination to
yeah,
learn from John as well.
yeah, yeah. Authenticity. I think that's what we really wanted to lean into.
Well, now I'm even more excited because I feel like it's the film, like watching the film is going to give me homework to go and do and research these terms. But I'm
Yeah,
okay with that. I'm the filmmaker I'm the filmmaker, never. I'm the critic who likes doing that, who likes
brilliant.
to fill in the gaps.
Oh, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, so you'll like that.
So, and hearing about this, and independent filmmaking, it always comes with challenges, right? Especially in genre work, and especially for some of the intricacies that I'm sure were
Yeah,
involved in Charlie Shaw's Revenge. Just listening to the two of you and the passion behind it, was there anything during the production that kind of forced you to adapt creatively or rethink certain things in the
yeah,
moment?
yeah. What Britain's famous for? Rain. It rained every single day. Every single day of filming, it rained. Not all
We
day,
also
sometimes all day, and sometimes a little bit. And then, because we shot for 25 days, then when we finished filming, it didn't rain for the next 25 days. It didn't rain once. Glorious weather. I remember getting to the end of it going, yeah, do you know, I messaged all the crew, I went, do you know it's not rained for the last 25 days? So we did 25 days, and then obviously we had a few days of pickups and, little bits and pieces, and like you do.
I
But
also
yeah,
have live animals. So we
oh,
had
yeah.
to work with the
Oh,
animals.
yeah.
Yeah,
My
we got
And
meerkat,
children.
we
And
got
children.
lemur, we got children. So we decided to put normally everything people tend to avoid, which is
Yeah.
the animal,
Shooting a lot at
the
night.
set. Then we had the outdoors and the weather. But I'm gonna tell you this: all these things they really add. Yes, they are hard. Yes, they are
Yeah.
challenges. But then when they are on camera, it was worth it.
Yeah. It was
And that's the
definitely, yeah,
question.
that's the thing. It's worth it. It's worth it. and that's the thing, when you're sitting at 3 in the morning, just literally at 3 in the morning, waiting for it to stop raining so you can finish the scene before it stops raining or the sun comes up, and you're like, and everyone's sitting in the, in the unit base, hearing the rain on the roof, and you're like, are we going to get this done? And then, just what, the very last shot of the film was filmed underneath a gazebo in driving rain, literally, like with the camera pointing at the ground. There's a little pickup that we had to do, and it was the very last shot we needed, of a detail on the floor at night. We had a light, and we were just standing. We went, that is so typical of this film. We just literally just there's scenes, for example, where people are having a chat, and we had to put like industrial strength tissue paper, in the guttering to stop the rain dripping down into the set, and we're standing in the camera in the rain, and the actors just underneath something, and then looking out for raindrops and things like that. But that's all because you can't, indie film. You've got the days you've got to meet your day. You got to hit that day. You got to keep going. So yeah, a lot of challenges around the weather because we're outside. Obviously, you have what's called cover days where you can just go, okay, no, it's raining, we can go indoors. But we rinsed through that in the first week, and then we were literally like, we've got to wait. And it forces you to adapt. It forces you to go, well, that's not going to work now. We're going to have to change that scene to make that an interior scene, or we're going to have to, shoot that under cover. Obviously, we're going to have to wait till it stops raining because of the sound, because of rain on the top, intense, and in the locations, it was just like a drum being inside a drum. So yeah, a lot of, and also practical effects. We use practical effects and everything. So all that and the resets and resets after a practical blood effect is that's another use of loads of industrial strength thing to clean up that blood and start again.
It's just imagine when you spend more hours trying to prep, set up, then you do the takes, and then you start right, like great. You spend 4 hours prep, and you had 1 hour to get that shot.
Yeah, that was what. Yeah, big shout out to our DOP, actually, our cinematographer, Nathan Gardner, because he was just able just to pivot on the fly and go, look, we're just going to have to motivate off this and do that, and like just get, he was. The thing about cinematographers is you can either be you need a cinematographer to be really good but also fast. There's no point in lighting every shot like it's a Rembrandt if you're not gonna there's if you're going to be left with a good looking shot, it's no good. But he was able to get some really, really good shots, but really, really fast. And him and his team were just just being able to think on the fly and keep going.
Yeah. I agree. We are very, like I said, since day one, we're very blessed with the team we've got. We're very lucky. And I think they're not just enough lucky, but they're really good at what they're doing.
Great art department as well. Great art department led by Laz Warwick, who's done a few bits and he's done loads actually. But him, and he had a fantastic team just going on ahead, as it were, and just prepping. Sometimes, as I said, when you had to just go, we're going to have to go there now. You've got an hour. Can you do it? And they go, yeah. Then you walk in, half an hour later, and that entire set would be done, and you're like, "Wow, thank you." So yeah, big shout out to them.
It was important because people might not understand, but it's a 65-acre theme park. It is huge. To be able to dress something and quickly take it back down, set up the next thing. The amount of hands was needed to make that happen.
Yeah,
and it's not like the same in filming a flat in a house and you turn off the lights. That is not that now.
It's also, we should explain also, Renato, it's a working theme park as well. So we weren't able to shoot during the day. We had a little bit of time at the end of the day when it was still light to make those shots look like day, like it's the morning or something. But it was like, the public would go, then the cleaners would come in, and then they'd clean. And then we'd come in, and then by the owner said, look, you have to leave it like you weren't here. So no coffee cups, no blood, no severed heads, no axes, no nothing left. You know what I mean? So you're like, hang on, where's that? So
it's like every day was a set.
Just descend, like a set. You wear a set, you can light it, and then lock the door, and off you go. We had to come in almost like a military operation, and knowing where we're going to set everything, set up in an hour, start filming, break down, and clean out like we were never there, and that was every day. So yeah,
every
that.
So I feel like I could discuss the craft of this film. You're getting me more and more excited for this
Yeah.
film, but I have to ask because I would be remiss if I didn't. I was also fascinated to notice that in addition to the release, the film's also getting a novelization.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
what excites
Matt
you about
Shaw,
expanding the story into another medium?
yeah, that was great. Matt Shaw is a good friend of ours. He's a well known horror writer. And we just asked him, said, look, do you want to do a novelization? Do you want to, lean into that? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So he's done a really, really great. It's really nice, to see. We talked a little bit about it, but I just said, look, here's the film, here's the script, so that you can just see if there's anything you've kind of missed. But then listen, it's yours. So just take it, just like make some a novel's a lot different from a film script. It's you can go into backstory and things. So we talked a little bit about that, but yeah, that was all him. And yeah, we're absolutely chuffed with it, and it's being released. Renato, you've got the gem on
It's
that.
already out on Waterstones, Bookshop, Amazon, and we're gonna have a publicly launch day of the book in the theme park on the 28th of May, where people can come and grab an autograph with the writer, with the author Matt Shaw, and also take a photo with John Langridge as well on the day. So I managed to book it, get it all done for that, and we have theatrical as well coming up in October, and we have something big coming up in October. I wish I could say right now what it is, but I can tell you that
Yeah,
it's gonna be like, yeah, exciting.
yeah. That's the next. That's the next. That's to be announced shortly. But yeah, a really big thing that's coming up with the launch.
We'll
Yeah, we're just
follow each
leaning
other on
into it.
social media, and I'll get an exclusive. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So I know I have to let you go in a couple of minutes, but I want to ask for both of you, when audiences finally get to experience Charlie Shaw's Revenge, what is something you hope stays with them afterwards, whether they experience it in the book or the film? What do they take?
I was thinking about this. It's a great question. I was thinking about this, and the reason I think it's done so well was just kind of putting a point that you're coming for a slasher, and I'm being honest. The kills are you're going to get all the fans of slashers are going to really enjoy it because there's a lot of good kills. But there's also, without giving any of the story away, there's a lot more going on, and I think people have really been pleasantly surprised that it's not just a stalk and slash. There's a lot more going on. There's a lot more that meets the eye when you sit down, and that's what I like it when people have watched it. We've got a great festival run already, and people have been really pleasantly surprised. Sounds like it's going to be but they've been like, oh, it's not just there's a lot going on here, isn't there? And that goes right back to what we were saying. You know, we put the time in. We really put the time in, and I'm glad that people are seeing that we put the time in to develop a really good story and make it as authentic as possible.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure it's authentic. There was
Yeah,
a good story. It's great because the actors, when they come to see the private screening for the first time, they're like, "Wow,
yeah.
we love
It,
the story, so much heart on the film." And then we feel like, "Oh yeah, just the people because they were involved, being nice."
yeah, they would
Uh,
say that they want another job.
and then went to festivals and everyone's like, oh wow, I love it, actually better than I was expecting. And I was like, oh, were you expecting something, what were you expecting?
Yeah,
Like,
what were you saying? Yeah. Oh, thank you. I think.
and, uh,
Yeah,
and now I'm talking to people that are seen on the festivals, they say that there is so much meat to the bone. They can resemble. They're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Oh, yeah, I understand why this happened. Oh, this is so relatable. Oh, you took the
yeah,
time to, I get it. And for us, it's
yeah,
very important that it's clever, it's unique, it's well shot, have good kills. And for me as well, so how amazing the circus and the
yeah,
theme park is.
yeah.
Well, John, Renato, thank you again both so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Congratulations on the continued momentum surrounding Charlie Shaw's Revenge. It's always exciting to see independent genre filmmaking find an audience on an international stage, especially through events like Cannes.
Yeah.
So, for
Yeah.
everyone watching, look, we will include links to the film, Drop Dead Films, the books, the signings. We'll find all the links. We'll drop them in the episode descriptor notes. As always, if you enjoyed this conversation, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video for more filmmaker interviews, festival coverage, spoiler-free reviews, especially one coming on Charlie Shaw's Revenge when I get my hands on it, and other award season conversations. And remember, take a break, folks, and watch something new. John, Renato, have a great day.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.